All right, next moved on to we're talking about the AFC East, taking a preview here. Let's look at the New England Patriots, Joe. This was one of the topics of our failed rebuilds that we read about an article about. It's kind of funny too. When they moved on from Tom Brady and they had Mac Jones. Mac Jones, you and I thought again he kind of fit the mold of what the Patriots were doing here, there, and I don't know. I don't know what to think of that whole Mac Jones thing because again, at times I think he got a tough break just because of the different juggling of the offensive coordinators and things like that, trying to put it all on his back when they still kind of left him with nothing really. I mean, Tom Brady still didn't have a lot of weapons, but at one point, especially making some of those Super Bowl runs, he had a Randy Moss and things like that. And he also had a Gronk to go to and things like that.
He had good players.
Where Mac Jones didn't have that there. So I think he tried to put a whole lot on himself to get it done. And then now it's forced his way out of there. And, but early on in the draft here, they go and draft their next incumbent quarterback, and that is Drake May. What do you think about the Patriots here moving forward?
I'm going to say this. I have some positive vibes for the Patriots, but just not this year yet. Because Drake May is he was seen as one of the top 5 quarterbacks in this draft by a lot of people. Not everybody, but by a lot of people. And the potential that this kid has is off the charts. He already has size. He has mobility. He's basically built in, if you want to kind of compare him to, he's built in the mold of a Josh Allen, where he has tremendous size. He has that mobility. He has better speed than you would anticipate. But man, does he have a cannon for an arm? Is he accurate? Yes. When his footwork is correct, his mechanics are correct, he's dead on accurate. But that's the thing going forward for him. He's going to have to develop and be more consistent in those areas where, the Patriots and their staff, they're going to do their best to kind of get him all in line and get him ready for this season. And if he is able to kind of digest the playbook, get that down to a T, and then execute and get some chemistry with these wide receivers that are now on this roster, I definitely could see a scenario where Drake May kind of beats out Brissett before week 1 even rolls around. And then you kind of roll with the future and see what Drake May can do. I like the pick. I also love the fact that the New England Patriots went way ahead and they're like, well, let's just bring Brissett back. He's a veteran. He's proven. We know who he is. We can work with that. Just in case the rookie's not ready, we'll have an insurance policy with a veteran quarterback. I do like that move too. Looking at the rest of their offense, listen, what?
Before we get into that, I just want to show some love because we do have a couple of comments here.
Okay.
From Blitz Nation. So I want to make sure I give some love to Blitz Nation out there. Back with the Bills. The Riot Show is in the house. He says the Bills are going to go with a 2 tight end set with a heavy run game. They pray Coleman has a year similar to Chris Olave.
I don't see it.
Shout out to Riot Show. And then back to the Stone Age is with us again. And he says Tua and that noodle arm of his will hold back the fish again. There it is. That's what
I gotta disagree
there with everybody.
You look at what he did last season.
The comments, everybody.
Look at what he did last 2 seasons, guys. He put up big time numbers. And you can call him noodle arm all you want, but he's getting the ball to his playmakers. That's the bottom line. And he's definitely thrown 50-yard passes. So, I mean, I call him noodle arm because he can't throw 80 or 70 yards, but he's getting the job done.
All right, so
going back to the Patriots here before I was rudely interrupted.
Sorry, but never rudely did.
Wide receivers. So Kendrick Bourne comes over from San Francisco. Jalen Polk, who is an up-and-coming wide receiver out of the draft. A lot of people do like him. Some people don't. Like myself, I don't think he's going to be that much of a playmaker like some other people envision him to be. Demario Douglas is kind of like one of those guys that you look back when in Tom Brady's era, when they had some small wide receivers that were no-name players, but they made their name known and they made a statement and were able to contribute to that offense. That's a guy that I'm kind of keeping an eye on, is Demario Douglas. And then they've managed to bring in some other veteran talent, Jalen Reagor, KJ Osborne, it's just to name a couple here. So They brought in some help in terms of some wide receivers that they're going to utilize. They're going to rotate. This seems like it's going to be like a heavily rotated offense in terms of the receiving core. They're going to get everybody a shot to kind of see who can prove to be the starter and who won't be, especially come preseason games. That'll be fun to watch. Their offensive line, this is kind of where I'm a little concerned on the left side because they brought over Okafor Chukwumwa from the Steelers at left tackle. Not really excited about this guy as a free agent acquisition. He's struggled from time to time with Pittsburgh and pass protection. And that's what I'm going to worry about, especially if Drake May does end up winning this job. Is he going to be running more than and then trying to just sit back in the pocket and throw the ball? And that can go for Brissett too as well. Cole, and you pairing him up with Cole Strange, who, again, that was like kind of like one of the worst picks the Patriots ever made in the first round was Cole Strange. He still he's okay. He's like an average offensive lineman, but he's nothing special. So that left side to me concerns me a little bit going into the season. And then the other thing that was in a dire need of is tight ends. Like they just, for some reason, forgot that like that's part of that position kind of got them where they were with Rob Gronkowski and how big of an asset he was with Tom Brady. They re-sign Hunter Henry. They got Austin Hooper, formerly of the Vegas Raiders. And what looks like they drafted Jaheim Bell, which is interesting because he's kind of molded almost like a fullback, but is still in that tight end role. So I'm curious to see what they do with him. Are they going to just make him like a receiving threat at tight end or whatnot? But again, they've managed to bulk up on all these other positions. Running back, they re-signed Ramondre Stevenson, lock him up long term. So he's definitely going to be staying there as their starter, their feature back, and rotating in other backs as well. So offensively, it's, to me anyway, it's kind of like they're heading in the right direction. They've made some moves. They made a lot of moves to better this offense. It's just we don't know, one, with Alex Van Pelt, his offense, his offensive scheme that he's going to utilize. Is it going to be so vastly different than what Patriots fans are used to? Is this going to be like, is it going to be balanced? Is it going to be heavy run? Is it going to be heavy pass? So that's kind of like the uncertainties with his offense is we don't know what we're going to see in terms of the Patriots offense because we've been so easily like, oh, well, it's going to be the same every year because Belichick's been there for decades and we haven't really noticed anything different. Now it's a whole new regime, except for Gerard Mayo. He's learned under Bill, but the offense to me is going to be something to kind of keep an eye out for, to see what they're going to be looking to do.
Right. And that's the interesting thing too, because like you said, even when it was Belichick, it was a different game, was a different game plan, pretty much. The last couple season though, again, it's kind of been
team
a little
to team, right?
Of a debacle though. So now it seemed like, they were scrambling to try and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they did add weapons here. So let's see, with the depth there, they have to have something work out for them. So it'd be nice. And I think Jacoby Brissett will service them and do whatever he can. But I think if Drake May does pan out and he ends up winning the starting job with this, I think then the Patriots are not like a dark horse team, but I mean, you could see, I think they will perform way better than expected. So, I mean, I think he'll make that much of a difference for them, and it would light something under, fire under them, something different that wasn't there before with Bill Belichick.
It'll be interesting.
But I think they got to rely on their defense.
It'll be interesting
right for the start, though. The defense and running game.
Of course, they're going to rely on their defense because they did that the last couple of years. And why wouldn't you to continue to do so? And that's why I feel like the Patriots, they were thinking like, hey, we can add a little bit more depth or players that can make an impact on us offensively, and the defense really we don't need to tweak that at all. We don't need to make any big changes there. Still have pretty much everybody returning from last season's roster. Jelani Tavai, they give him an extension, locking him up at that linebacker position. Another one, Christian Gonzalez. Now, maybe some NFL fans forgot about Christian Gonzalez, but he was having a pretty darn good rookie year last year before his injury. He's returning completely healthy. So going to have that shutdown corner on one side of the football. Jonathan Jones is going to be on the other side. So they've managed to add a couple of veteran free agents, but also keep the core together, keep the continuity together here with Matthew Jordan as a pass rusher, Juwan Bentley and what have you. So they have all their same faces there. No, the chemistry is going to already be there for week 1. They're already going to be a really solid defense, and it's going to be run by their head coach now, Gerard Mayo, who was their D coordinator. So nothing's changing on that side of the ball. So there should be no reason to believe that this defense is going to take a tick down or anything like that, or be disrupted in where they're trending anyway. So I think the defense is going to be even better than what they were previous year. They're going to be one of these top 10 defenses. And just like Jim mentioned, that they're going to have to rely on them, and rightfully so, because they're going to be that good of a defense. It's going to keep them in games longer to give the offense a chance to kind of catch up if need be. So with Drake May, if he does in fact win the job, and I will say this, if Brissett is the starter, I feel like they're going to be competitive, but they're not going to make any waves in this division. And even if Drake May takes over, yes, they're going to be better than Brissett. Drake May, if he's in that starting role, he's going to make the offense a little bit better than Brissett, but still, I don't see them making waves, because as a rookie quarterback, and with Drake, who still has to further develop to be, to continue that development in his footwork and his mechanics, I still think you're going to see some follies. You're still going to see him struggle from time to time with this very high speed NFL level, gameplay. He's going to have to try to play catch up with that. It's a completely different thing. So you're going to see struggles from time to time, but you're also going to see big time highlights that's going to give you comfort as a fan.
Right. And we said before with the Buffalo Bills, tough schedule. They play a lot of tougher teams here, so they'll see some other good defenses on top of it too. So they're
like the Patriots. You've been good for too long. We're going to just slam you with difficult schedules now.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these 2 boxes.